Hello everyone on my profile. I thought I would begin to get a little bit more into the habit of doing these live streams whenever I have a aha inspiring tip or sort of something that I've learned throughout the day. So a lot of you don't know this, but I'm working on a new product in the app software space, and I was talking to my partner in this other company and this other brand, and we were discussing the launch categories or the launch campaigns for this specific product that we're currently creating. And we got onto the conversation of, okay, well, which campaign should we do, which launch approach should we do for this product? And we began to talk about, okay, well, the best marketing campaign is always a great product. Because if the product is designed correctly and if the product quality is just fantastic, then the marketing will take care of itself. And I see it a lot where entrepreneurs will usually create a product first because it's more enjoyable to create, and then they'll come to someone like me, or they will ultimately become a client of ours, and they want us to figure out the campaigns for a product that was never tested or for a product that is designed of poor quality. So a great campaign always begins with the product in mind, regardless of whichever industry you're in or who is your clientele or even the price point. So whenever you're creating an online course or an event, or if you're creating an app or a program, anything like that, you always want to begin with the problem that it is going to address. So what is the core problem that your product aims to solve for the customer? Now, I know this is common sense, and we've all heard it, aim to solve a problem, but not many people begin designing products from a problem. They begin designing products from what they want to create, what they enjoy creating. They begin creating from their hobbies or their passion, rather than going, okay, where is there a need? Where is there proven customers that have a disposable income that I can actually tap into, and then create a product around that. So when you do hopefully create your next product, begin with the problem that it wants to correct, and begin by proving that there's customers actually looking for it. Because the first approach is that people design a product from their own hobbies or their own passions, which of course isn't proven. The next element up from that is that people do create a product to solve a problem, but there's no customers looking for that problem. So you always want to ensure that even if you are addressing a problem with your product that you're creating, that there are customers actively looking for it, that they are asking for it either in Google through keyword research, or if they're asking in Facebook groups, or if there are people asking about this type of product, then go ahead and create it because there's some proof in the concept. So make sure you are addressing actual problem when you create products. I think that's one thing that entrepreneurs overlook. They tend to create first, then try to figure out the marketing afterwards. The best marketing is always a really strong product, hands down. It doesn't matter which industry you're in. If the product is good, it will eventually get traction, even if you do not promote it. Now, when you do promote it and you do push a great product with some fantastic and some really aggressive campaigns, then everything just really catches alive quite quickly. The other thing is to ensure that it is addictive to use and that your audience actually enjoy using the product. So a prime example is the gym and health industry. Gyms address a very clear problem that people aren't healthy and they want to lose weight and they want to get healthy. That's an actual legitimate problem, and people are looking for this problem. They are looking on it for Google, they're asking their friends. People are actually looking for a gym that they want to train at. However, do they enjoy using it? Do they enjoy going to the gym? Not really, and that tends to be why classes in terms of the health industry tend to outperform your 24-hour gyms in terms of their retention rate usually. So that's a clear example of a product that addresses a need and has customers actively trying to look for it. So there's people who are actively looking to get healthy, and it does solve a real problem, but it's not always enjoyable for the customer, so they're not going to keep using the gym every single day unless you have a class or you try to make it interactive and make the actual experience enjoyable for the customer. So ensure you solve a problem, ensure you are going after customers who are looking for a solution to that problem, and try to make your product enjoyable to use so that they will actually want to use it. And then of course, the next element is to ensure your product is easy to explain, because then your customers that hopefully enjoy it can then explain it quickly to their friends. If you have a complex product that is amazing, that solves a really good need and people are trying to look for, but it's really complex and it takes 20 minutes to explain to their friends, and you're going to lose the referrals that you could be generating otherwise, as if your product was a lot more simplistic. So ensure your product is easy to talk about, and ensure that someone can talk about your product in 3 to 4 words. Ideally, if you have to pre-frame the need and the idea where it came from, and then who it's for, and then how they use it, and then the additional upsells, it's going to be too hard for you to first launch out, and it's going to be too hard for your customers to promote it to their friends. So make sure your product is easy for obviously you to tell your prospects, and easy for those clients to send you referrals as well, because otherwise you're going to be pushing it uphill and it's going to feel like things aren't going to get traction very, very quickly. So with that being said, another little point I want to share on product creation is to ensure that there's no learning curve with your product. So this doesn't really apply to the educational industry in terms of advanced online courses or coaching or that, but more or less actual tangible products or apps or programs or anything where there's a two-way interactivity between the prospect and the product. So ensure there's no steep learning curve. I think when Apple introduced the first iPhone, it felt very organic to use. There wasn't much of a learning curve, but then when the Android phones came in, people felt there was more of a learning curve to them, and that's why they took longer to generate traction. So ensure your product is intuitive, as sort of cheesy as that comes across. Ensure it's easy for them to learn, and try to remove as much of a learning curve as possible. Thank you for the tips, Cassie. Thank you for the comment. Ensure that the product is easy for them to use and that there's no steep learning curve as well. So just to recap those points on product design, is it solves a clear problem. It actually solves a problem rather than you creating a product and then trying to find an audience for it. Ensure that the audience is actually looking for it. So sometimes we create a product that, yes, solves a problem, but sometimes the prospect isn't conscious that they even have that problem, so they're not even looking for that product, which is, of course, means you have to do more campaigning to actually educate the prospect on the problem even before they purchase, which is going to be a lot harder than as if the prospect was just looking for the problem in the first place. Ensure it is enjoyable to use. You don't want to have a product that solves a problem that people are actually trying to look for that is not enjoyable to use. Because if it's not enjoyable to use and there are customers who are looking for that product, then it means a competitor can easily come through with a more enjoyable product and take your customers very, very quickly, because they would enjoy that product more so than yours. And 2 more points. Ensure it's easy for their friends. Ensure it is easy for your clients to tell their friends about your product. So does your product have a clear USP? Is it easy for them to talk about with their friends? Is it easy for someone to refer someone to your product or refer you a client? And this comes down to branding and also your copy and your communication and how you set up the product and even your company too. It's also linked to personal branding and entrepreneurship, which is why branding is so important as an individual today, because you want people to be able to put you into a category so that they know that you're the expert in that niche or in that skill set, because then it's easy for them to refer clients to you, right? So you want to take the same approach with your product too, whatever product you are designing. And the last point is make sure there's no steep learning curve. Make sure it is intuitive to use. If it's an online course, make sure the portal is easy for them to click around. If it's an event, make sure it's easy for them to get in and out and make the whole experience enjoyable. Make sure there's no steep learning curve. Otherwise, they will be put off from using your product ever again. A great example is Infusionsoft. Solves a need, people are looking for the need, people can refer their friends to Infusionsoft because it's very clear what it is they do. However, there's a steep learning curve that people hate and hate time and time again. So that's a prime example of a company that hasn't really optimized their learning curve and really optimized their experience for the user is, of course, Infusionsoft. So then you have a look at other programs like Active Campaign or Samcar. Those are programs that solve a problem that people are trying to look for, that is very clear and easy for them to refer their friends to, is easy for the user to use with no steep learning curve, and is somewhat enjoyable and also intuitive as well. So the best marketing campaign is always a good or even a great product. So whenever you're designing a campaign, take a step back and look at the product. Does it solve a problem? Are the audience actually looking for that problem, or will you have to educate them for them to be conscious of that problem to then discover your solution? That adds 2 more extra campaigns into the mix, which you wouldn't otherwise have to have if they were actually looking for a solution to that problem. So solves a problem, the audience is looking for that problem, is clear and easy for people to refer their friends to that product, and they actually enjoy using it. It is easy for them to use, okay? That's a very important point too. And that there's no learning curve. They don't have to learn how to use your product in order to solve their problem. So that's it for me over here in Melbourne. Those are some insights that I'm currently learning again while I'm creating a new product for a new project that I'm doing, and I'll share that all with you shortly. So thank you for tuning in. I'm going to do some more of these live streams pretty much from here on out. So let me know what you guys want me to talk about, if it be email marketing or AdWords or advertising, emailing, social media. I can pretty much share my insights on anything, so let me know what you guys want to hear about in the coming live streams, and I look forward to seeing you guys online then. Bye for now.